everyone, welcome to Code Devil Tutorials on Python, the programming language. In this video, we learn about the types of numbers and operators in Python. Let's see. Generally, we have mathematical operators such as for addition and subtraction, multiplication, and division. These are the main operators we use for our day-to-day purposes. So what about Python? Which operators are used in Python? Well, the same operators are used, but some of the symbols are a bit different. So let's see. For addition, we have obviously 2. Suppose I need to add 2 with 5. So obviously I'll use the plus sign, 2 plus 5. And the answer is 7. It's executed. Now what about subtraction? I need to subtract 9 from, I need to subtract 9 from 10. So I'll write 10 and it's the same symbol, that's for minus. 10 minus 9 and it's executed, it's 1. So what about if I need to multiply 10 with 9? Then I'll not use the sign usually used by us for multiplication. I'll use the symbol for star. This star. We won't use X for multiplying, we use star for multiplying in Python. 10 with 9 and the answer is 90. What about division? Well, we'll divide it by 10. Suppose I need to divide 10 with, suppose 5. So I'll write 10 divided by 5. And the answer is coming in a decimal, such as 2.0. What if we want it as an integer without the decimal? So we'll write 10, 2 slashes and a 5. And the answer is 2. So let's see what is this decimal in the form of Python? Well, there are 2 types of numbers in Python. One is a floating number and other is an integer. So the 2.0 that you saw, the decimals, these decimals are the floating numbers and the integers are the whole numbers such as 2, 3, 4 and so on. Well, that's the basic difference between the 2 types of numbers we have in Python. Now let's brood over another topic called lists. Suppose your mother asks you to buy some groceries from the nearby shop. So obviously you'll ask what all to buy and then you list down all the things that you need to buy. So you list down the objects and tick on those that you bought. So lists are basically only a collection of data in Python also. So how to define a list? A list is just like a variable. In fact, it is a variable. The difference is that it just stores a collection of data. So how to define a list? Just like a variable, we give it a name and then assign it a value. So how to store the data in a list? We open a round parenthesis and then we list the data that we need to store. Right now, suppose I have to add some numbers and then I need to store it in a list. So I'll store these numbers like 9 and then another number is 10. So I'll separate the 2 numbers with a comma, 10 and 11. And then I close this parenthesis. Now my list is defined and if I call it, and now the list is executed, it's printed here. Now another thing about the list is that I have this number 9 here. It's kind of a thing that suppose you need to buy 1 kg of flour and it's the topmost thing in the list. So obviously you give bullets to the list. Suppose you number the list 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that, in Python also, the data, the information which is stored separately is given a numbering. So 9 here is 0, 10 is 1, 11 is 2, and if I had even more objects in the list, suppose 12, 13, like that, then the numbering will also increase, like 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and so on. So suppose I want only 10 to be printed. So I'll write the list name, then I will open the square brackets and write the numbering of the information which I need to be printed. In this case, I need to print 10, so I'll write the numbering of the of 10, which is 1. And now I press the enter button and it's executed. 10 is printed. Just like that, if I want to print 11, so I'll write list name and then I'll write 2 instead of 1. Just like lists, we also have a term dictionary. What are dictionary? For example, you have a friend Lucy. You need to store her number in the phone book. Then you'll write Lucy, her name, and then store her number. So you have her name and her number separately. So suppose I need to print my phone book in Python. How to do that? Well, dictionary is your only option perhaps. So first you'll give a name to your dictionary, just like we did with lists. Now, just like we did in lists, we have a instead of round brackets, we use the curly brackets. Now it's the time to store Lucy's number. So first I'll write her name. Then I type in a colon. And then the piece of information that is related to the data of Lucy is again written after the semicolon. And then suppose this is the number, although it isn't, I just write her phone number and it's stored in this dictionary. But what if I need to store another person's number, suppose Daisy, her sister? Then I'll separate it again with a comma, just like we did with the list, and then I write of Daisy's number. So why did I write these phone numbers in double quotes when we already know that numbers can be stored without the double quotes? Well, in this case, then this phone number is not actually a number. It is not read as suppose 91 million or something like that. It's read as 91937 and like that. So here it is a string. What do we mean by string? Well, in the previous video I told you, string is just like a collection of words or even numbers which are not really actually numbers, like floating numbers or integers. That's why we stored it in a double quote. So if I write dictionary name again, it's executed and we have the phone. That's all for today. Please keep practicing Python. Don't just watch this video but also practice. You can practice through this site www.hackerrank.com. It has got good questions. You can practice there. So that's all for today. See you in the next video. Bye.